Awesome. Okay, so this is a reframing tool, and it's really designed to help you or whomever get through like a frustrating thought or a challenging thought. And so it can be really used a lot of different ways. I have it linked under the tab for behavior change. Um, but it's a really great tool for, I mean, you could do the typing for a kid if, like, say you're on Zoom, or you could have this be a part of a group lesson where different kids are actually contributing to one particular problem. Let's say you are collaborating with a classroom, and there's maybe like everybody is angry about not having recess. I don't know. I'm just going to use that as an example. And you want to have the different inputs from the class. I'm going to show you that this is one tool that you can use a bunch of different ways. Okay. So this is a simple tool to generate creative approaches for your own life. And this is an adult tool. So it's used, the website that I got this from, it's just for anybody to have like a cognitive restructuring process, but it's super simple and it's definitely easy enough for a tween or a teen to use. But I would even say if you're going to do some of the typing, you could go as young as even, like kindergarten, first grade, right? You're going to have, with that, you might do a little bit of prompting and probing and what have you, but I really think it's something that can be used. So the question is there a situation that you would like to change? So I'm going to use a situation that might be a kid problem. So my mom never listens to me. Super simple problem, okay? And it says, congratulations, you have just framed your first core belief. Click next, super click. So write the reasons for that. And then this is one of the places, like if you have a couple of kids in a group together, this is a great way to give them each to come up with one answer, right? So if you're kind of sitting there waiting, it gives you some additional prompts. So why do you believe my mom never listens to me? So you might say like, she doesn't take my side. She always listens to my sister. She's too busy. She doesn't love me, right? So it's going to ask you to do at least 4. So I'm going to stop at the 4, right? So these are my core 4 beliefs. And this is the current frame of thought. Now I'm ready to reframe it. Obviously, if I'm doing this with a kid, I'm going to be helping them to kind of go through some of this process. I might be doing a little bit of probing while I'm doing that. I might be making some notes, any number of things. And guys, if you have questions, I am checking the comments. Feel free to ask me your question. So now it's going to ask you to choose one of your supporting beliefs and write the opposite, right? So what's the opposite of she always listens to me? So that might means like she always listens to my sister. The opposite of that would be she always listens to me, right? Or maybe I would say she can be fair. She always gives me my way, right? So it's going to ask you, can you make it really extreme? And if I was doing this in a session with kids, I would be like prompting them like, oh, you can make it better than that. I would be making it really fun for them, right? Go on to next step. So now that you've done that, it will let you go through. So it might ask you to come up with some more. You don't have to. So if you have a kid who's like, I don't have anything else, you can go ahead and go past that. But then it's going to ask you to go back through the other 4 core beliefs. So I'm going to do these really fast to kind of get through this. So write down the opposite of she doesn't love me. So she does love me, right? What's a variation of that? She likes me, right? She wants the best for me, right? And you can, once you get a couple of those, you can skip. If you can get them to come up with some more, great. Then you're going to go into she's too busy. She works hard. Or she has some free time. What might be another one? She does fun things with me. So if you think about it in terms of like that basic CBT, right? So we're asking them to give me what's the exception to this rule? What's the exception to she's always too busy, right? And so this is, again, getting them to kind of have those DBT, the CBT or the DBT skills. Like we're going to do a little bit of distress tolerance here. All of that is a great thing, right? So we're going to go to this last one. She doesn't take my side, which is kind of similar to she's always taking my sister's side. But, you know, she fights for me. You might say she tries hard. She loves me, right? And you guys know, as you're kind of going through this, if you can get them to get into it as they're going through it, it does make a lot of sense, right? This is a totally free tool that is linked in the school-based session planner. It is one of those ways that you can absolutely get kids engaged. If you were doing, I'm doing this on Zoom right now, you can absolutely be doing this on Zoom in an individual session or a group session. Now it's going to ask you, choose the most important opposite belief. So you can start wherever you want. So she doesn't love me is the most important one. So select the one that you think is most remarkable. I might give a little bit of additional support to this. Like, what's the one that you think would make you feel the best? If it was true, what do you think it would make you feel the best? So she does love me. That's the one I'm going to choose, right? And then we go through each of them. She tries hard. Maybe that's the one that's going to be the best. She can be pretty fair, right? So now you see, you're kind of like, well, I was really mad. I was really angry. I was really frustrated. Now I'm like, it's okay. She's too busy. Well, she does work hard, you know. So those are the things. So now you got like, okay, now we've got some things that we can believe that are just slightly different than what we were initially believing, right? And I might even, guys, I might add into this like, hey, give me on a scale of 1 to 10 how mad you are with your mom, right? And I guarantee you, if you go through this process, a lot of times you might not get them to come all the way down from a 10 to a 1, but if you come back to that at the end of the session, you can get them to move down to maybe like a 7. And that is something that you can positively reinforce, right? So if the world looks like this, what would be the core belief? So like, if this is the truth, right? If all 4 of these opposite things were true, what would you be believing right now? My mom is okay, right? Maybe that's the best we can get to for today. So you got a new perspective on your initial situation, right? So at the end here, it does ask you if you want this to come to your email. It's not required. You can add it to the Reframe Hall of Fame. Again, not required. Again, this is a tool that's technically for adults, but there's literally nothing in here that is required to give away any information. There's nothing in here that is, you know, specifically adult thought process wise. There are some of the language that's used, I think, is just developmentally adult, but if you are guiding them through this, you can absolutely give that prompt and that probe that is completely age appropriate. So this is just a great tool that I thought I would share with you. So this is linked in the school-based session planner. And it's a great tool. It's linked under behavior change. And I think you will really, really love this if you make it a part of your process.